Okay, welcome to the Footy Fantasy Podcast. My name is EJ, and I have Stephen with me today, Arsenal fan.
Hello.
Hi, I just saw your tagline. Don't beg, it's disgusting.
Yeah, no, expressions. He had me laughing all week, and then he was begging his players to make sure if they were seeing his post.
Oh, wow.
It was quite funny. So they said to him, "Don't beg" before the game, and then obviously they lost as well, so it was even better.
Wow.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
Hey,
Henry.
what's up?
Hi,
Welcome.
guys. Sorry
Okay.
for coming out a little late.
No, you're good. You're
Had
good.
to look fresh for my Spurs. My Spurs
We're literally just getting started, so let me plug our social media handles. Okay, so if you guys don't follow us already, please follow us on social media. On Twitter, we're Footy AD Fantasy. On Instagram, we're Fantasy Footy, and we have like full length videos of our podcast on YouTube at Footy Fantasy. Subscribe and share. We're going to jump right in. Tottenham Arsenal review. I'm sure you guys will watch the match. I didn't go to church early. I said I was going to watch the game and then I'll go for the later service. So I watched the game too. So we'll start with you, Stephen. What did you just give us a review of the game from your perspective?
Yeah, no, I mean it was a strange game because I don't think we went there and maybe played as open as people thought. I think we respected Spurs, but we also had a plan to kind of hit them on the break or take advantage of them on set pieces, and that's kind of how the game played out. I don't think it was a 3-0 half time. I think that the score kind of flattered us a little bit. We just basically very ruthless in that first half. But yeah, no, I thought it was a good away performance from Arsenal, and again, you just see the maturity of the team. They can handle situations. They can handle different grounds because the ground was really hostile. You can hear that in like the first 5-10 minutes, and they kind of just rode that out. And then once we got in front from the set piece, it was like, okay, you guys come in, and then just picking them off set pieces and on the break. So I thought it was a really good game. I thought Havertz was amazing today, just in terms of the role that he had to do. He gave Van der Ven and Romero a lot to think about, held the ball up well, got his goal, got the assist as well. Again, it was weird just what positions he was ending up in because he was at left back at 1 minute with the goal for Saka. He was at right back defending at one point. I was like, what position are you actually playing in? But no, it was a really good game from Havertz and the team overall. But I just think the way that we can defend as a unit, we're really hard to play against, and we got some good players up front that when we get chances, if we're ruthless, we'll be okay through to the end of the season. So I thought it was a good away performance. Spurs were never going to roll over even at 3-0, but I think we helped them, obviously, Raya with his moment of madness. But yeah, no, I thought it was a good win.
Great. All right, Henry, what about you?
I agree with everything he said so far. First of all, I would commend the boys. I know last season I did mention that the next step in our progression will be to start winning games that sometimes we don't have business winning, meaning learning how to win ugly. Today is one of those games, right? Because again, first half, I know we were up 3, but I was like, we really didn't play anything. Like, yes, we were ruthless up front, and there are a few things you can tie that to. Obviously, where I feel like we're a little bit more sharp compared to them. They haven't played, I think, any games in 14 days, 10
Yeah.
days. Yeah, so you can tell they were rusty. They had a few chances with the defender hitting the bar like twice or something. Yeah, but again, this is the little progress I'm seeing with Arsenal, right? It's the ability to win even when you're not really in the game. But City did the same thing today. If you watch the game, Nottingham like could have nicked that game, but they just had poor finishing. So those are the little progress. And then the second thing is we're now competing for the second season in a row, going head to head, going into the last 3-4 games with City. So that's the progress for me here. Again, the game was good. It shows a different side of Arsenal, and that's what I can't ask for anything more than that. Yeah, I think again we're like 3 players away from competing, year in year out, like consistently. I think we have the squad now. We just need a little. We need a striker. We need that probably someone who can deputize whenever Odegaard. Because I know Odegaard. I mean, even though we're over relying and over dependent on him and Saka they need a break every now and then. I think defense was still okay. Maybe just one more versatile defender. Maybe like a John Stone type defender who can play defense and move into the midfield every now and then to cover, and I think we'll be good. But again, excellent game from us in terms of being ruthless. But I don't think we played excellent today. We were just more ruthless and a little bit cutting edge in front of goal.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about some of the controversial moments on Twitter so that people don't say I was hiding, because I saw Aya post on Twitter that when Arsenal fans complain when things get called against them and when they get these decisions in their favor, blah 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 blah. So we'll start with the first one. The offside goal that was disallowed. Was there anything wrong from your end? I mean, it was offside.
It was close, but it was offside.
It was
It was
close, bro.
really close, but it was offside.
I don't even know why we're talking about it.
So yeah, so people were complaining that it deflected off Tomiyasu, it deflected off Gabriel.
When the ball was struck, he was offside. Before the deflection, he was offside.
Thank you.
I have one phrase: "Cry me a river."
Good job. Good job. And the other controversial call was the leading up to Saka's goal. Apparently, 2 penalty shouts. And
yeah, I mean, the first one I think would have been soft, really soft, but there was a little bit of a flick there. You could see that he was running away and he kind of clipped Trossard.
Yeah.
So you see that when you go to the replay. So I can understand the ref probably not seeing or looking at that in real time.
Yeah.
And then I don't think there was anything in the Maddison one at all. I think he was running into traffic and kind of threw himself a little bit. Yeah. So I think it would have been harsh. But but again, it wouldn't have surprised me if the refs had gone back through VAR and said, "Oh, something happened here. We're going to pull it back."
Yeah.
So I was more surprised that they didn't pull it back, given how VAR's been this season. I was just waiting for that.
Yes.
But yeah, again, there was a clip by Trossard for sure. But you have to slow that down and look at it to see, because in real time, it just looked like he tripped himself and fell over. Yeah. And then I don't think there was anything in the Maddison one. I think he just ran into traffic and Rice and the guys just crowded him out and then he fell over. Yeah. So I think, again, if the ref had given it, I would have been like, okay, there's something there when you look at it on camera. But when the ref doesn't give it and then they play on and they get through all of those phases, that 2 or 3 things happens post that second guy going over. Like Spurs shouldn't get caught on the halfway line in open play. It's the way that's their tactics, right? So I think it could have been given for sure, but I wouldn't go with that.
Let me take some comments real quick. This is Kwame hating, and Ayo said, yeah, as always. So Ayo said, yeah, we have seen them give him before. I guess he's referring to the penalty, or referring to the Trossard clip on Kulusevski, and that Kwame adds that offside is offside. Van de Ven was offside. I've seen the Maddison penalty given. I think they should have given it. Why won't he think that? So my thing is this. I mean, they didn't give it, okay? So let it go. And if they don't give that penalty at that moment and we score from there and VAR cleared it, there's like, what do you want Arsenal fans to complain? You want us to like thank the ref? Okay, thank you, Michael Oliver. And then he gave the penalty at the end. I mean, that penalty was, it was a PK, but I'm like, Rice didn't mean to do that, like, at all.
No,
sorry.
That was blatant penalty. I don't even think you could argue that. That's got the Rice one. As soon as it happened, I was like, oh, I knew that was a penalty. That wasn't even
like they will call the obvious ones, and the other ones are 50-50, and we've seen a lot of 50-50 calls.
No, but I think the Rice one, the fact that the ref didn't give it and he waited for VAR to give it, that's why I don't rate Michael Oliver, because I'm just like, well, how can you not give that when you're standing right there? Like, he literally kicks the guy, like, that was a pen all day.
I think Michael Oliver was trying to stay out of the game. He did that when we played Manchester City at home and refused to give that guy.
Yeah, but that's not his job. That's not his job. His job is to ref the game.
So my
His
point
job
is,
is to investigate.
I don't believe he's partial towards Arsenal. I'm not sure what people are trying to say. Yes, he may be inconsistent, but I don't see I know who's partial to us, and it's Anthony Taylor. You see why I'm hating EJ is such a criminal. How is that not a pen?
The Rice one was a definite pen. You can't even like the Rice one. There was no debate in the Rice one, but the fact the ref didn't give it again,
that's what I said.
Like,
Yeah, so that's probably what EJ is saying. I don't think EJ is saying it's not a pen. I think what EJ is saying, and I might be wrong, you can correct me, EJ, is the intent. The intent was, not to, sort of hurt. If I'm in his mind, or if I try to juxtapose myself into his mind, probably that's what he's thinking at that time. Where again, he
the
doesn't.
ref?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking,
But
right? But
you
it
don't
makes
give
no
that
difference.
based on the intent. The ruling doesn't have anything to do with intent. He went to clear the ball and he kicks the guy. It's a penalty.
The ball wasn't there.
Yeah, but we're following the rules by the letter of the book. Yeah, it's a penalty. It's not a debate.
But I am happy it happened it took them 4 minutes because the incident happened at 83 minutes and then the penalty was kicked at 86 minutes. So I'm just happy it happened towards the end. I actually predicted the 3-2 score line. And so I was like, but I didn't want the score line to be like a pinball score line 1-1, 2-1. No, I love that it was 3-0. And I agree with you guys. Those 3 goals were like every time, like the first one, I didn't know Saka. First of all, shout out to Saka for silencing the haters that were making fun of him after the Bayern game with his he can't take corner kicks anymore, and then he whizzes that one in. It's so close and perfect.
But you know what's funny? I was actually cussing him when he hit the penalty when he hit that corner because he did again. We scored from it, but he didn't clear the first man again. It was a near post corner, and it was like if that had gotten cleared, we'd have been screaming at him because he didn't clear the near post again. It was so I was when it went in, I was like, oh, and then I saw because I was vexed because I was like, he did it again.
But what's funny is that I didn't even see like those corners were so quick that I didn't. It took me an extra second to realize that they were at the back of the net. Like I didn't know who scored them. I had to watch a replay to catch both of them.
Havertz one is terrible defending by Spurs.
Yes.
Because we could have had 3 players score from that. And again, it's the famous Van de Ven that everybody wants to hype up that was under the ball again from the set piece. So he's really quick. They leave him 1v1 because he's really quick, but he makes mistakes positionally constantly because his pace gets him out of trouble. But again, on the corner, he got under the ball. Like he should have cleared that. It was him with Havertz and Tomiyasu. So again, they're not very good at set pieces. I think again it came up in the chat. And we could have again anytime we got a corner, you could see that they were worried because the goalkeeper's not coming for anything. Ben White was all in his head for every single one of the corners. So it was just they're not a very good team in that circumstance.
Is there anything inappropriate in what Ben White does with the goalkeeper standing in front of him? There's nothing. Okay, good.
That's nothing inappropriate. The good teams move him. The good teams on set pieces, they move him.
So he did it twice. I'm like, are you?
Like, they move him. You put a defender there and you move him. You don't let him body your goalkeeper.
Yeah. Shout out to our set piece coach too. I mean, he deserves a little bit of a shout out because again, I think 30%, almost 30% of our goals this season has been from set piece. So that's something you can actually actively see even on the pitch that they walk on. I mean, barring the Saka not clearing the first player, Rice too. Even there was a point where Rice, had that same issue from the opposite end when he would take corners and he wouldn't, clear, the first player. But I guess something they're working on. But that's a part of our game too that has evolved, within the past 2 seasons too.
Kwame is upset with Spurs. He said they are spineless, defensively weak on set pieces, and that high line will kill them next season.
Sounds like United. Everything there is United, but the high line piece.
No, I don't even mind. They can be spineless. They should just show that they have spine against City. That's all.
Oh yeah, I think
we know that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, we know it's not gonna happen. After today's show, and I have zero hope.
So you're Stephen. I know your family. You said before that your family are all Spurs fans.
Yep.
Will they
Everybody.
prefer to fall out of Champions League rather than to try their best to beat City and help Arsenal?
Arsenal winning the league
Okay,
is the first and only concern. The Champions League doesn't even come into the
They would
consideration.
die. They would die before they
Like
let us.
that is not even a consideration. It's like us winning the league and them getting into the Champions League. There is no there's no concession for that.
that is funny. Okay, so now we know they may actually play. My only hope is that Ange doesn't have the North London hatred yet. He will not coach.
It's instant. It's instantaneous. I think it's on the resume. I think it's immediate. They have to, once you get the job, the first thing they tell you is you have to dislike or detest Arsenal. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I have no hope in them in that. Like I said, I think the Fulham game is the one I was telling you. Fulham away for Man City. If they play like they played today, like I could see Fulham. If Fulham get in front or a team gets in front against them, then you can maybe see something happening. But again, like I said to you, for me, Henry said it earlier. If we just get to the end, take it to the last game of the season, push it all the way through. If they win it, so be it. We lost it when we lost the games against West Ham and Fulham in December. And to your point, in terms of where the team's going, the reason we didn't cope with those games in December is because we didn't have a deep enough squad, and we just didn't have the legs to get over the line in those games. Because we should have won both. Well, the Fulham one, I think we deserve to lose, but West Ham, we should have definitely gotten more. And if we lose the league by one of those two results, you basically got to be better in December, and you need a squad to be able to be better in December. And I think that's what we need now.
I think that takes us to the next question. So it will kind of be the same discussion. Title race state of play. Is it going down to the last day and who wins it? Let me say this about the Fulham game from December. I agree. I think that's the only, to me anyway, that's the only game this season that we lost that it felt like we deserved to lose. Every other game, okay, Aston Villa, the 2-0 loss. I don't think we did. I think, yeah, we lost it legitimately, but I don't think we deserve to lose that one. And definitely not the 1-0 loss at home, at their house, because I felt like we definitely played better than they did. And they played defensively well. Fine. They parked the bus for like 86. They scored early and just sat back. And then, every other game, how many losses have we had this season?
5.
5? To who?
So Villa home and away, West Ham, Fulham,
Okay.
Newcastle.
Definitely.
Let's not talk about that one.
I know. But yes, so I think overall it's been a good season. Very, very good season. And to hear everyone that talks about Arsenal on Twitter, I just look at them, I'm like, last year, all of you that were non-Arsenal fans, and even some Arsenal fans said that we will fall off because other teams will come back stronger, and that this is our last chance to get to do this correctly. We're so close. We should have won it here because we'll never get close again. So first of all, I want to give kudos to the team for, I'm not going to fault any Arsenal fan for not trying to see if this wasn't a fluke. I knew it wasn't a fluke because my reason was just because the boys were young. I was like, these people are young. Why are we expecting them to get worse instead of expecting them to get better? That was my reason. But I don't fault any Arsenal fan. Maybe they needed to see more. So I think you've seen more. Now, I know some people will push the, goalpost and say they want to see it happen 4 times. But yeah, I think Arsenal's done a good job this year. And like you said, Stephen, if we play to the end of the season, the last day we play Everton, City play West Ham on the last day. West Ham has nothing to play for. Everton just has nothing to play for either. So I know Everton is a short 3 points. I just don't know about West Ham City. That's why
I think if it goes to the last game, we ain't winning it. Like if it goes to the last game, there is no way City are losing that at home on the last game of the season. If they need to lose, they need to drop points to Fulham or Spurs before the last day, and we have to win out, in my mind. That's how I think it will go. Because I don't see them losing 2 games or dropping points in 2 games. So I think we're gonna have to get, for me, in an ideal scenario, they drop points before we play United.
Okay.
Because if they drop points before we get to United, and then we go into the last game of the season with it in our hands to be able to, okay, we beat Everton at home, you win the league, I think that's the best scenario for us. But if they get to the last game of the season and they're ahead, I just don't see a situation where they don't get over the line.
I have a different take. I think the season is over. I think we're going to win all the rest of our games, get to 89 points. We give a good account of ourselves, but I think there's nothing. Nobody's derailing that City train right now. You know, I'm just more optimistic about next season.
But you know the reason why I say that is because they have these games away from home. If they were playing the games at home, like Fulham away and Spurs away, Fulham have beaten pretty much most of the top 3 or 4 this season at their place. So Fulham at home is not an easy game. I don't care what anyone says. Like Fulham at home this season, however they've been doing it, regardless, they're up and down side. But because again, if I look at the chances that Forest had today, Fulham take those. Like that Pest Mooney is one of those guys. They take those chances. But so I just think for me, I think if they get past the next 2 away games they have, which is Fulham and Spurs, and they get towards the end of the season, I'm with you. I think they win out and it's over. But the 2 away games, they have to drop points in one of those 2 away games. And remember, we don't need them to lose. They just have to draw again because we're ahead of them on goal difference.
Yeah.
So they don't have to lose. They just have to draw.
Yeah. The problem with me is that they're bend but don't break. Right? They have this bend but don't break mentality. So we've seen this before. Do you understand? The movie we've seen the ending of this movie before, like at least 3-4 times. So that's what's it. So I'm not even being harsh on the boys. I just think there's a lot that they can learn from this season. I think after that Aston Villa game, I just had a feeling, that was our last Achilles heel. We found a way to win that game, or because I just felt like we'll have done better in that game. But again, I already accepted my fate for us this season, so I don't expect anything crazy. But if it happens, don't get me wrong, we're turning up, right?
Of course.
But I'm being very realistic.
Yeah. Can we win? Can we beat United at Old Trafford?
100%.
Okay. You mean are we going to win? We're winning.
Okay.
No, it's a bogey ground. It's a bogey ground. It is a bogey ground. Can't remember the last time we won at Old Trafford. It's a bogey ground, and they have a habit of just winning games or getting results. But the way that they play, like the thing for me with United, this specific United team, it's not about going to Old Trafford. It's the way that they play. Like they give you so many chances. And their midfield is so open. I don't even know if like Ten Hag can pick a team to set up to do anything else. And I think if they play us that way and we are on our game, and again, we've lost 1 game in the calendar year. Yeah. So people are talking about City and how good they are and like we've lost 1 game in the calendar year. One defeat in 12, 13 or something like that. So for me, I just think United, if we go there and they play like they've been playing all season, we find a way to get a result, like we found a way to get a result against Spurs today.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's going to be an easy game though. Let me correct. I know people are going to come for me, but I think we'll find a way to nick it just because we know that we need it. The boys are on a high now that they know they can't drop any points.
Right? And the games aren't stacking up for us, right? Like we got 3 games left. It's 1 game a week.
Yeah,
right. We got a full squad. Like again, the fact you can play Partey, you got Jorginho on the bench. Like you got Timbers now played 2 games in the under-21s. He might even get a game before the end of the season. You just I just think we got a squad and we can get those types of games. I think that it's going to be a hard game, but the way that they play, I'm less worried about them just because of the way that they play.
Okay.
They'll give us chances to win.
100%.
Yeah.
Like they gave Liverpool, and Liverpool didn't take it. So
they gave Newport chances to win. Like they can't control games. Like they're not like again. You watch Tottenham today, right? Even though it was 3-0, Tottenham had 60-70% possession in that first half.
Yeah.
They were controlling the ball. They were keeping us off the ball, which is what. And again, we were sitting, but we're not ever going into a game giving a team 60-70% possession. They were doing that to us. United just don't have that about them. They're going to give you the ball and they're going to give you chances.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Well, I expect them to fix it at some point next season, hopefully. But I think it'll probably be a different United we're dealing with next season. I don't expect it to be the same.
I mean, if they keep their coach though.
I don't even think it's the coach. They need
I don't
6
think
or
it's the
7
coach.
players.
Everybody says the coach. I don't think it's the coach.
Who is it then?
I think it's mostly the players that he has within his reach now. You know, I mean, yeah, obviously the buck ends with him, but you can only play with what you have, right? You remember there was a time when Arteta too didn't really have a squad and we were bashing him Arteta. You know, I was team Arteta out too, right? But you can see his imprint now when he's had enough time to put his style and also the style he wants them to play and the right players he wants for the system. I don't think he's fully had that.
The only reason I won't give him that out is because the players he has is his choice. So Arteta's done a similar thing, but Arteta's players have fixed his system, whereas Ten Hag is bringing in Antony's and Hoylands, and like the players he's bought aren't helping with that system, and he's had enough windows now and enough investment where he should be seeing at least a style of how they want to play. They can't be playing these teams like Newport and Coventry and like they were 3-0 up in an FA Cup semi-final and should have gone out.
Should have gone out.
You can't rationalize for that with the coach. I just don't think you can let him off. So for me, I think they need the players, but I also think he's under pressure as well in the summer. But I don't know who will replace him right now because I don't know what the market looks like in terms of managers. I think that's the only thing that's going to save it.
Yes, I want him here for one more season.
Please.
That'd be cool. That'd be great. Do we need to talk about Liverpool? That's
we should. You know why we should? You know
what?
why
I do have a topic for Liverpool, so let's save all our discussion about Liverpool till we get there. We don't have a Spurs fan. Not Spurs, sorry. Oh, yeah, Spurs, actually. We were meant to have a Villa fan on, but I believe she couldn't make it. What do we think? Top 4. Villa or Chelsea? Yeah. You said Villa.
Did you say Chelsea?
No, not Chelsea. It's Villa or Spurs. Villa just drew with Chelsea over the weekend.
I think, but the thing is, again, the fact that we beat Spurs helps Villa now. But I just think Spurs have got too many hard games. And again, after the emotion, sorry?
Do they play Liverpool too?
I think they do have that, but is it away? I think they got Liverpool away. And
I'll tell you. Whose schedule do you want to know?
Spurs.
Okay, 1 second. I'll let you know.
I think they had both of them, because they played all 3 teams in the run-in. So they should have Liverpool away and they should have City at home.
It's tough. Because I remember them saying they're the title deciders. I'm like,
exactly.
You better decide the title and you're going to lose all the games while you're deciding.
I think they have Chelsea. They're playing Chelsea next.
They already played Chelsea.
Oh, they played.
They got Chelsea again.
No, they got Chelsea again.
On Thursday.
Yeah, they played Chelsea.
They got a game in hand with Chelsea they got to play.
Yeah, on the second.
Spurs. Sorry.
Yeah, Spurs. Yeah. So Spurs, Chelsea. I think they also have City. Yeah.
What kind of schedule is this?
I know it's a weird one.
It's a Spursy schedule. It's great.
Oh yeah, they got Liverpool too.
They got
Chelsea. They have Liverpool too.
That's insane.
Yeah,
but Liverpool. The thing we can talk about Liverpool, but I don't think Liverpool are in a little bit of crisis right now, so that might actually not be the worst. But they're going to Anfield, I think. They got Liverpool at Anfield, so that's going to be a messy one.
Yeah, because remember the first leg.
They have 5 games left.
Controversial. They have 5 games because they haven't played in 14 days.
Yeah, so they have Chelsea, Liverpool, Burnley, Man City, and Sheffield.
Yeah. Okay, well, so I agree. I think that's Villa then. But if they can beat City, Spurs, if you beat City, you can get to top 4. So think about that.
They genuinely don't care. They will take the Europa League now. It's like they will take the Europa League, accept that it's their level, and worry about next season. If it means Arsenal don't win the league,
Yeah,
that is what they will do.
They'll catch flack if we win that league.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that's sad. Okay, so this is our Liverpool segment. I'm so happy there are no Liverpool fans, so we can talk about them however we want. We'll start with this new coach, Arne Slot or Arne Sloppy Seconds. That was the title. But what do you guys think about this? I think they have. Is it like a rumor or is it factual that he's going to?
It's factual. So
It's
it's in the
factual.
Dutch press where
Okay.
I'm at. He's gonna come to Liverpool, but again, we have this habit of disrespecting managers when we don't know who they are. Like this guy is not any kind of manager, right? Like in the Dutch league, again, he's done really well with the teams that he's managed. He's highly rated. I don't think he's Klopp. For damn sure, he ain't Klopp. And Liverpool's going through a transition, right? Like they're going to lose Klopp. Salah's probably going to go in the summer. Van Dijk's 31, 32. Like we know Liverpool's in a transition. So I think it could be a tough job for him coming to the Prem, coming from the Dutch league with a team in that kind of transition. We've seen it with Ten Hag. We've seen it when David Moyes went to Man United. Like when you're coming into these big clubs with these high expectations, even if you have a reputation yourself, it's not the easiest to come after these big managers. And I think that's going to be the main challenge I have for him. I think he's a good manager, but I think Liverpool is going to be in such a place after Klopp with all the work they have to do with that team and players. And I just think expectation, I think he might struggle. But he's actually a good manager. I just think it's a job I wouldn't take if I was him right now. But yeah, I mean, you can't turn it down if they come to you.
What about the other guy? There was rumors of links to another person. I can't remember what team he coaches.
Yeah.
His name starts with an A.
Anarim.
Yes. So
yeah,
now there's links of this one to West Ham.
Yeah, I don't think Anarim was ever really a link. I think that was the press.
Okay.
Because I think he had conversations with West Ham. It sounds like because he came out and apologized for taking a meeting in season.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, he's another one. He's a good manager. I think West Ham might be a good place for him because again, you're coming in. There's not a lot of pressure. You change your style of play. You build something. You got good players there. That's where I would have seen someone like a Slot go in and being able to make a name for themselves versus following Klopp and expectation that you're going to be moving Liverpool to challenge next season and all of this with no Salah and Van Dijk's 32, 33. I just think it's a really tough job. And I don't think he's going to get that patience from people coming in.
So, Henry, before you go, let me ask this. I know Salah's contract ends in 2025, and the other two, I think Van Dijk's ends in 2025 as well. And what's the other young boy? TAA.
Yeah, Trent.
So, yeah, Trent. Are they all? Do you think there's a chance that they all stay in the Klopp-less Liverpool?
To do what?
To destabilize the team.
To do what? There's no incentive for them to stay.
No incentive. Like why?
I think Trent stays. I think Trent for sure
That's
stays.
only because he's British, right?
Is he a Liverpool kid?
Yeah, I think Trent for 100% stays. I don't think Trent goes anywhere.
But that's the only person.
But the other two, I don't think they're gonna want Van Dijk in a year. I don't think they're gonna want him. He's on a massive contract. They're gonna have to move on. He's gonna be again. You're gonna want to move and get a younger pair, and you try and keep Kanate, get another defender in. You're gonna want to move Van Dijk on at some point. Yeah. So I think they're not gonna want Van Dijk. And then I think the Salah one in the summer, he's off to Saudi for sure.
Yeah,
so
he goes to. He's not. Again, there's no for those two. There's no incentive on. There's no reason for Liverpool to keep them because I feel like they now understand that they're going to be in a rebuild post Klopp. Yeah. So they wouldn't. They're not. They know they're going to be in the doghouse for a little bit. The question is how long. United is still in the doghouse. We were in the doghouse for what 10 years. How many years did we in the doghouse?
10? More like 20.
Actually, we're probably still in the doghouse if we're keeping it 100.
We are.
Barring the last 2 years, But it's a rebuild. Everybody forgets. It's a painful, slow process. That's why I always diss Chelsea fans. Yeah, we've won Champions League. Keep quiet. You guys cannot buy your way out of a rebuild. It's very, very difficult to buy your way out of a rebuild, except you're lucky, right? With proper coaching and you get really influx of young players that are actually closer to their peak. But yeah, it's difficult. It's going to be tough for them. That's why
No, but that's what I'm saying is that I actually think, and again, joking aside, Tottenham today, I look at Tottenham's youth teams and I look at what they're doing there. I look at the starting 11 they have now. I look at what infrastructure they have to be able to add to what they have. They can come like really quickly if they make the right decisions. But that's the thing. You have to make the right decisions with the players you have. So for a team like Tottenham, you can keep, for example, you keep a Son the same way they got rid of Kane. Do you keep Son for another 2 or 3 years? Or if there's a bid now, do you take the bid and do you go young and try and go after one of these younger strikers that's coming up to add to what you already have? We know what they probably do because it's Son. We can't sell Son. We can't. That's why these teams end up putting themselves in these positions. Because if I was Liverpool, I would have let Salah go last summer.
Yes.
Like when someone comes and offers you 80, 90 million for a 32-year-old, don't care. I know if he wants to go, you take that money and you go and you move on, because they could have invested the year with a couple of these other younger players that they had. Again, they probably wouldn't have challenged because they got the goals from him when the start of the season.
Right.
But injuries, African nations, after that, he hasn't been the same player. And they're still going to get the money, but I just think they were kind of over anticipating what his impact throughout the whole year would be. And I think some of these teams, it's like learning when to let go of your star guy is the really hard piece. And that's what for Arsenal right now, I'm okay because we haven't got that because we haven't got any of our guys over 26.
And you also remember there was also a carryover effect from them letting Mane go.
Yep.
Right. So that also was playing into their, the decision making.
But that was because of the salaries, right?
Yes.
Because they gave Van Dijk his money
so they
and they gave Salah his money.
They can't pick their poison. Yeah.
All right. So why they keep losing or drawing? They have 1 win in 4. I feel like they're not as bad as their results appear.
They can't defend. Everybody's talking about the strikers missing chances. No one's looking at the fact they're conceding 2 goals every week. They can't defend.
Yeah,
like that's why they again the strikers they're gonna miss a load of chances because without Jota, if they had Jota, they probably win a couple more of the games that they've lost the last couple of weeks. But I don't know. I just think they can't defend, and I think that's why they're losing the games that they're losing.
That's wild, right? That's historic, or not historic, but in recent history they've been very solid. Becker's playing, right?
Yeah,
like, Becker's who's in goal. And
but to be fair to them, they've had a lot of injuries in that defense, and they've been moving the pieces around. Like Robertson's missed games, Trent's missed games, Matip's been gone the whole season. They're using Kwanzaa, Konate's in and out, so they've had to rotate. Bradley's come in and out. They've had to use a lot of defenders. So to be fair, they've had a lot of injuries and disruption in that back line. But even so, they concede way too many goals and chances to teams that they shouldn't. And especially when people know how Liverpool play now.
Yes.
When you're going to dominate the ball and they want to play this back and forth rock and roll football with people. I think people are now, okay, you guys have the ball and we'll wait until you make a mistake as opposed to going back and forth with you. Yeah. And I think they're getting found out because of that.
Right. Do you think Klopp should have announced his departure when he did? Or do you think he should have waited till the end of the season? Like, if you're a Liverpool fan, what would you have preferred?
Hindsight is always 20/20. Yeah. I think it was never like a good time. He picked his poison, But I may be... Sorry?
I agree with you, but I don't think they had to announce it. I think if the people inside the club know, like the people that are running the club, they know and they can plan accordingly. They needed to know. I don't think everybody else needed to know. I think they were trying to create the emotional, Klopp's leaving, we have to do this for him. They were trying that and it just backfired in the end. I think it almost created too much pressure and emotion around the team.
Yeah.
But
I think
yeah, I agree
with you. Players too. I think it's actually affecting the dressing room too now. Yeah. So.
Because people know he's not going to be there. Like if I'm not playing,
What am I
Normally,
saying?
maybe I come and knock on your door and say, "Hey, boss, what do I do to improve?" Blah blah blah. But if I know you're not going to be there in a season, it's like he's not going to be here anyway. I might as well wait.
Yeah. It seems tricky. It seems tricky. Like it seems like he wouldn't be able to have too much control. And it also seems like I'm not saying that he's checked out. I know he's like the consummate professional. I'm sure he's like coaching to the best of his ability. But like when you know you're leaving at the end of the season, and now you're like all your chances for any kind of win. I mean, 3 games to go. How far is he behind? Is he 6 points off?
Yeah, but do we just kind of like Klopp's an emotional guy? Like him and Pep, I don't know how they survive doing what they do at the level that they do it for so long because they're so invested in
Yeah.
their jobs.
And maybe
So I
that's why.
think no, so that's what I think. I think he was just burnt out. Like he was at the point where he was just like, guys, I can't do this another year, and I can feel I can't do this for another. Because he actually said he told the people at the club at the beginning of the season.
Oh wow. Okay.
So when the announcement came out, it's probably because the press or someone else was circling.
Yeah.
But again, you could have denied it. You could have, but it would have just kept going. You know how the English press is. They would have never let you not ask the question. But I just think he's just tired. You can see the man's emotions, like just where he is right now. He's just not there, this at the same level. And I think it's okay when you just think these guys are 7-8 years at that level of intensity.
Yeah.
It's a hard. That's what makes Ferguson and Wenger, in my mind, just
Legendary.
unicorns.
Yeah.
Like because you can't like 20 years doing that at that level, competing
consistently.
Yeah, you just it's.
This is only towards the end that Wenger didn't finish top 4. Like it was like towards the last 2 years, I think. Every other year was a top 4 finish.
Yeah, he told us. He told us top 4 was a trophy. We didn't believe him.
Everyone's laughing.
Mm-hmm. Now look at it.
United,
go.
We still have a chance. Now they have no chance.
Yeah, I still won't believe him for that because again, decisions are decisions. When you stop competing to win, that's when you get comfortable and then you slip. And I think that's what happened at Arsenal. Like the level was to stay in the top 4. The level was not to compete.
Right.
And then you start losing your best players consistently, and because they're looking for trophies. None of the players wants to hear, "Oh, we're competing for top 4." That's why we didn't keep Van Persie. That's why we didn't keep Nasri. That's why we didn't keep. So I just think.
But there was a reason for that, though, right? There was a financial reason, and that's the downside to Wenger. Because he's an economist. He had that side to him where he felt he had to balance the books. Like, bros, who does the books help? People are throwing out the books and doing the needful. That was probably the one downside to him. He wasn't as ruthless, and I think he liked doing things by the book. Right?
100%.
He was so.
Spent it like it was.
But I think he gets this. I think he was ruthless. I think he was stubborn at the same time.
Yes.
Because I make the decision. I'm going to sell Van Persie. Like imagine that conversation. Like you're Arsene Wenger. You got to sell Van Persie to Manchester United, of all places. Manchester United, and you hold on until the last possible moment in the window before you do that deal. Then you go and you take a spanking, and then you end up going and panic buying in the summer, right? Yeah. And you bring in that's what I mean. I think some of it was to your point. Yes, you're gonna sell the player. Like,
early too.
Yeah, sell the player and then make the decisions and go. That's the thing. I think towards the end, I would always look back and just go, I wish you were ruthless, yes, because you had it in you, but just make the decisions earlier. You know who you want. Push. You're gonna try and buy Suarez from Liverpool, and it was gonna cost you a certain amount, and you go and you bid 40 plus. Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, what a joke. So that's what I've never forgiven him for. The Suarez one by $1 or £1, and then everybody forgets this. There was one time, what's his name? He used to play the number 4 position for us. Is he Song? We had a song, right?
Yeah.
That he sold to Barca. I still don't understand what happened with that.
No, it was the player.
He wanted to go.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Again, it's Barcelona. They're quadrupling his wages, and he was like, I want to go.
Yeah.
Because that guy was instrumental to what we were doing back, at that period when we sold him. And I don't even granted he faded away at Barca, but at Arsenal, he was doing his thing, and we were relying on him. So again,
Yeah, he
you
had
can
that
fault.
good season. And I think, yeah, Barca came knocking and he was like, more money, I'm out. I think there's an article he put out about it. And he was like, I was following the money. And that was it.
Yeah, but I think the ruthlessness was there. It was just maybe put in the wrong way. Sometimes I just think the ruthlessness was there because I also think there was something behind the Adebayor sale. I think Adebayor was asking for wages. He didn't want to pay the wages. Then he ended up selling Adebayor to Man City, and then blaming Adebayor, saying he went for money. Like, I think there's a lot of those things behind the scenes that went on with Wenger that people kind of remember one side of
And
history.
then, yeah,
But again, you can't knock him for what he did.
Yeah, it's the economic side that ruined him, but he's still a great though. He's still alive.
Exactly.
I mean, he's doing all his economic stuff and technical stuff for FIFA now. So God bless his heart.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so we don't think. Well, I'm gonna add this. I think Liverpool, they get this guy. Like, I think you guys have said it all. This guy he's going to walk into the fire. They're going to have a lot of expectations, and it's obviously not going to pan out early in the.
I wouldn't go that far. I think it depends on the infrastructure they put around him from the get-go. And the difference between Liverpool and Chelsea and United, Chelsea and United got no director of football, no infrastructure inside the club once they change things. Liverpool have all of that. So they have their director of football, they have their scouting system, so they know what direction. Like, he's not coming into the club and he's not being expected to build things from day one by himself. He's just coming to manage the team. I think the challenge he's gonna have is the team that he's inheriting is
Right.
not a team that probably is in the top 3 or 4
Mhm.
out the gate unless they do certain things.
Okay.
Because if you take Salah out of that team, and then you have to go and reinvest that money. You need to improve the midfield still, regardless of how they went this season. You need to improve the defense still, regardless of how they went this season. So if they don't get those investments right, I think Liverpool stay where they are, but then Arsenal's going again. Man City's going again. So I think that's where the challenge is going to be for him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, and just a couple of points too, which is what the points you made is that yes, the difference is he has a better structure compared to a Ten Hag and Pochettino. And I also feel like he has players like they've had injuries and injury problems. I think where he struggles are two things. One, the rigors of the Premiership. Everybody thinks the Premiership is all like it's easy. It's not easy with the different tournaments you're playing. He's going to be playing Champions League. I don't know if he's going to be accustomed with the amount of games and how fast they will be coming. That's one. The second thing is now would he be able to put his imprints into their style of play? Because again, that's another issue that Ten Hag has had too significantly. Is these players I have, would they be able to conform with doing what I want them to do? Right, the club in itself has the structure, but it's the same thing. You can compare it to Alonso, right? And that's probably why they wanted Alonso, because someone like an Alonso already understands and has the Liverpool DNA, right? He's had experiences from a lot of all these coaches, so that type of transition will have been easier. But he's smart, that he knows that this is a good job, but the wrong time.
Right.
So that's why it's like, nope, the devil is a liar. Maybe, funny enough, if this guy doesn't succeed, he comes. If they have if they have a
Real
decent
Madrid.
core player, well,
Real
yeah,
Madrid. Soon as
that's
Ancelotti's gone at the end of next season, he goes to Real Madrid.
okay. That's
He
also
probably also wants Real Madrid. Like, how long has he been at Leverkusen?
It's his first full season.
First season going undefeated.
Okay, like, when you say first full, did he take over for someone last
mid-season and then he came? So this is his first full season.
This is his first full season.
Okay,
and he's still undefeated, right?
Yeah,
yes.
They drew again on the weekend.
Yo, this guy, yeah, it's gonna, and everybody forgets the beauty of this for him is it's similar to Arteta, and when you see some of these young players that have now become coaches that were players, you hear a lot of their old coaches say, well, him being on the pitch felt like an extra coach on the pitch. And if you go and look at what a lot of people said about Arteta, it's the same thing they said about Alonso. Like, the way he goes about his business, the things he spoke about, how he picked their brains. And you can see with Leverkusen, right? This Leverkusen team, they're a problem,
No,
But
but
obviously,
again, I'm
everybody's going
waiting
to
to
go
see what they
struggle
do
at the end of
because
the season.
it's crazy, Henry. Because not unbeaten in the league, unbeaten in all
Europe,
competitions.
yes.
So so all competitions, Europa League, German Cup, League. So they could win a treble unbeaten. That's insanity. So again, if he pulls that off, like his stock is going to be
Yeah,
up here. And then they're already saying that he's keeping all of his players because they said that Verts isn't going anywhere, and so part of the deal is that he gets to keep the players that he wants to keep.
the core of his players.
So yeah, we'll see what he does next season. Because Bayern, again, we see if he can defend his title. That's going to be the interesting one.
Yeah, but at that time, it won't even matter too much because he's probably going to, as you said, go to Madrid, replace Ancelotti, maybe take a few players that prove themselves again this coming season with him. He's going to have Mbappe there. Like, there's a plan. Like, and let me just tell you, Madrid is going to be scary. And then with him,
with Vinny, Mbappe, Bellingham, yeah, it's not even funny.
Maybe like it wouldn't be fair.
They will light Europe on fire, like literally. I'm figuring like they will light Europe on fire, But hopefully we can compete.
Yeah, we just have to hang on to our players because we know that the one place where Madrid, I think, will be looking is in defense.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They're already sniffing around our few of ours. So
I could see it. Obviously, we're not a selling club anymore, but I could see them coming shopping for Saliba.
Yeah, they've been trying. They've been sniffing. Before he signed his contract, right? So
yeah.
All right. We'll see. I mean, do I wish Liverpool luck? Nah, I think they need to go back to the wilderness. Go back. Circle the wilderness.
Have they ever really? Let me. And this is shade, but it's not in the same way that people are gonna probably take it. Have they ever really come out of it though? Because Man City have still been dominant.
Yes.
So they won a league, they won a European Cup, they won one of every trophy that you could possibly win because they are an exceptional side. But Man City still dominated this period with Klopp. Yeah. I just think that it's the same thing. Like when people look back at Wenger's career and they say, "Oh, Wenger with the great Arsenal," there was like a 2 or 3 year period where we competed with Manchester United, where we traded leagues. But outside of that, Manchester United were a dominant team.
Yes.
And I just think for Liverpool, it's a similar situation. I think Man City, it's like 8 titles in 12 years or something crazy like that. Man, it's not. You start looking at numbers, it's Man United and Man City.
Yes.
In terms of domination.
Yeah. Now let me ask this: do we think Pep will get tired the way Klopp has gotten tired?
Oh, please God.
Seriously,
we need him to go. Like we just can't.
We need 1 year free. He retires after. This is my prayer. My prayer is the FFP thing hits him the end of the next season. He doesn't sign a contract. I think his ends in 2025. Then he doesn't sign and he just goes, so that he can avoid all the asterisks that will be put on his name.
Asterisks are on his name regardless.
They're there, right?
Even if it's not him, the asterisk is always going to be there.
Still there. So he'll leave. I don't want him to leave, though. Just need 2 years free of Pep.
No. I want the league to be competitive, and for the league to be competitive, he has to go.
No. I don't. Anyways, maybe, but I want him to stay. I want us to win when he's there.
Me too. I would love that. Yeah. But I'm just saying, for the league to be competitive with 4, 5, 6 teams closer to each other, Man City has to be out of the equation with Pep.
But even let's hypotheticals now, right? Even the way things are set up, right? Even if he leaves now, right? Man City is still going to be competitive, except this bunch of the players leaving him, which I don't really see.
But they're in that period. De Bruyne is 30 plus. Bernardo's already talking about going to Barcelona. Like, there's a couple of those core players that will with it. They're going to be in a transition. They have to and again, it's Man City. They can turn a switch and bring 5 players from their academy.
That's what I'm saying. And they've even started. Let's not even front. They've started. And
Of course.
add on to that, they can go shopping.
Yeah.
So but I just want us, even if it's one major trophy while it's there, because you know what they're gonna say. You guys already know this, right? Oh, you guys
Okay.
waited. Yeah, nah, I mean, I'm not fine. I
No,
like I like
but
when
Henry, Liverpool failed to win a league with 96 points.
Mhm.
96 points, and you don't win the league.
Yeah, they
So we
raised
can
the
talk about
standard.
history and blah blah blah. Like you can't them levels there, they're putting up 80 to 90 points every season for the last 8 years.
Consistently, yeah.
Like that's Pep. Because another manager, there's going to be 1 or 2 seasons in between where things either slip because they make bad signings or bad decisions. But I look at them and I go, imagine Doku and Vardiol next year.
It's gonna be bad.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like at some point for the league, I just think we need him to just go.
Yeah, they're already showing, even Doku, and they're already
Yeah.
showing signs and symptoms. I mean, it's the same thing. You can even talk about Palmer too and what he's doing at Chelsea. So the question now becomes, how many Palmers are in City right now that we don't
They've
even
got
know?
loads of them. The Oscar Bob, they're sitting
They're
on the bench.
chilling.
Rico Lewis. Like Rico Lewis came on the field against us at the Etihad. He was the best player on the field, and he can't play for them. Remember, Foden was sitting there for 4 years, wasn't in the team. Like,
And when he came, he lit things up. So, yeah,
it's terrifying.
the system is the system. The system is almost like plug and play. Once someone goes down, another person is waiting and
Exactly.
ready. Yeah.
Yeah, and did you see that they signed that guy Savio from Girona as well?
Mm-hmm.
So that young winger from Girona that was up in the league, they were competing with Real Madrid in the Spanish
Oh
league
yeah.
for however long, and they've signed him as well. So because Girona's a shadow club for them.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
good. I
yeah.
didn't know that. Okay.
But, yeah.
Well, good luck to us. Do you guys have any kudos for the week? Who gets your kudos?
Um, I mean, Forest to have done a thing for us today, but I don't really get kudos. I have a donkey though.
Okay, good.
I think my donkey is there's this whole ref incident that happened over what really happened. Yeah, the guy that I don't know, I can't remember his name, where the keeper held the ball and tossed the ball,
West
and
Ham, Liverpool.
yeah,
That's
and
Anthony Taylor.
yeah, I can't remember. I'm like, I still don't know. First of all, I blame the player for not scoring because I think he scores first and he changes that whole thing. I know they said he blew. I still don't understand why he even blew the whistle. Like, what's the rationale there?
I think
No,
he just didn't want to start. I don't know.
not because I think it was a similar situation. You know what's weird? It was a similar one like what happened with Gabriel in the
Yeah,
Champions League. They picked the ball up.
boy error.
So it's
Why he
almost
touched?
like, did he hear the whistle?
Yeah,
And the referee, because again, it's almost like the goalkeeper thought the referee had stopped the game,
yeah.
but the referee didn't stop the game. But to your point, if Gakpo goes and scores, then Liverpool can argue and say, well,
That's a goal.
what happened there? What's the situation? But because I think it was almost like a misunderstanding between the goalkeeper of what was happening in the game, and the referee then kind of says to him, "Oh, I blew the whistle. The game ball was in play." And then between the two of them, it's like, "Oh, let me fake an injury here and figure out what the
Yeah,
situation." Because it was weird. It was really weird. But it was like the Gabriel one, because the Gabriel one was the same. That was like a brain fart moment. Like he just picked the ball up in the middle of the
Like,
game.
why are you touching the ball?
So
yeah,
yeah, it was a similar situation. But I think that one was crazy. That one was definitely crazy.
But that's my only
Donkey.
yeah.
My kudos will go to Havertz for today. Because like I said, I love Havertz's performance today. Like he's starting to really stick it on people at the moment. He's missing a ton of chances still. It's still Havertz, but I mean,
Let's talk about
you
that.
bang two against Chelsea and you celebrate. You bang against Tottenham and then you post what he posted on social media. Did you see that?
No, what
I
did he
didn't see.
say?
What did he say?
He posted this. You know that meme where the guy is coming
Oh,
from
he's walking
backstage
through. Oh, that was
and he's
him. He
kind of doing
posted
that
that.
swag. He posted it. Like he posted it and people have reposted it.
Oh, no, I saw it, but I didn't know he started. He posted
No,
it.
he posted it. Like Kai posted it. So you bang against Chelsea 2 and then you bang against Tottenham. That's kind of a good week.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
But he missed one nice. There was one chance that he could have just hit it one time on the volley, and I think that ends up at the back of the net.
Yeah.
It's Kai. He's gonna miss chances all day, every day for the rest of his life.
So let me ask you guys one question that I've always wanted to ask Arsenal fans. Who, obviously, I feel like he's a good squad player. I'm not even going to lie, just because of his work rate. Because even in Germany, you've seen him play fullbacks for Germany, like in some games, which is weird. And he's done well there in those positions too, ironically. Who's the striker we get to change to fix our striker's role for next season?
Who do we get, or who do I want?
No. Let's
You already
be
told me what you
let's
want.
be realistic.
No,
Who do
because
we
my
get?
realistic is going to be different to your realistic.
No. That's what I'm asking because we're all Arsenal fans, right?
I want Sesko.
Okay. What's the
I don't
reason?
want Gael Perez. I don't want Oshiman. I want Sesko.
Oh, I don't want Oshiman. Oshiman better not smell Arsenal. He can go meet Jackson. And
I think he's going to go Chelsea. I think Oshiman's going to go
that's
Chelsea.
exactly why I want him. Let him go to Chelsea. They need him.
But for me, I want Sesko. And the reason I want Sesko is because I think he's a good age. I think with the way that we play, it's a development. You can push the player through. You got Kai. You still got Jesus, because I don't get rid of either one of them. So Nketiah goes out, Sesko comes in. Then you got you got bench then. You got Jesus, Sesko, and Kai.
You just kicked out EJ's first child.
Hey, he got to go.
Yes, I agree.
All of them have to go. Nelson, ESR.
I feel like we've not been nice to Nelson though, but it is what it is.
Yes,
no,
Arne.
all of them have to go. That's 100 million. All of them. Ramsdale, ESR, Nketiah.
If we sell Ramsdale, we need to bring in another keeper though.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine.
Okay, all right.
What about Isak?
I like him. Let me know front.
But the problem with Isak, and again, I don't sound bad here, but the thing with Isak, the injuries scare me.
Okay.
Oh, he's injury prone?
No, it's not that he's injury prone. He just, again, frame and his record, he misses games.
Okay, no, we don't want that.
That's the only thing. I like Isak, and the fact that he scored in the Premier is proven. But and he's played with Odegaard as well. Now people forget this.
Okay.
Where?
They played at Sociedad together when Odegaard was on loan. Remember the two of them went there when they got to the cup final.
Oh, so did they light it up there together?
Yeah, they did really well there together. So he got a relationship with Odegaard already.
Oh, so that would be good. But we don't want another Jesus, issue where we know
That's
that
I'm nervous with the
season
injuries.
we're not gonna have you. Like it's a really bad thing, So, but yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you guys. Like, what striker do you think?
For me, Sesko. If Isak comes, I'm not going to be mad at it. But because I know you can get Sesko for 40, 50 million because he's got a release clause in his contract. So that would be like a really easy go do it early in the window. You still got, and you can do two. You can do him and Zubimendi for the price of any of these strikers that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because they both have release clauses.
Okay. Let's just hope we're proactive enough to execute early.
It sounds like it. Sounds like Edu's busy. So
I didn't know anything about Sesko till Stephen. You told me about him, and I watched YouTube highlights, and I definitely like what I see. So we definitely need a striker.
It's a project, but I just think he'd be a good replacement for Nketiah. So then you'd have Sesko, Jesus, Havertz as Trossard can also play up front. Then I think you use the money that you save from spending 100 million on a striker, and then you start to explore. Because if you bring in the midfielder, you can also look at that left wing, because I think we need to do something there. Because I think Martinelli is a good player, but he's having an interesting season. And I think you need to bring in some competition on those wings. So someone who could play left and right, and you just kind of take the pressure off all of those guys, I think is what we need to do next. Because Arsenal fans, we've got to stop thinking in 11s. We're competing with a team that left Foden out of their squad today. Haaland was on the bench today.
And they came on and they did their thing.
Like, we got to stop thinking in 11s. Like, he's on the bench. What are you doing? Like, no, he's going to have to sit down sometimes.
Yeah. My donkey is Raya for that goal. I can't get over it. I know we looked shaky obviously at the end because of how tight the game became, but like, don't even put us in that position. That was very Ramsdale of him.
I would give my donkey to Ten Hag.
You didn't say that was very Ramsdale of him. Wow.
I give my donkey to Ten Hag for the nonsense he was talking after that game yesterday as well.
What did he say? Because I stopped listening to Ten Hag because it's always something dumb.
he said they're one of the most dynamic, entertaining teams in the league after the Burnley 1-1.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, man's on his own planet
Dynamic
at the
and
moment.
entertaining. He means we all laugh at how often people come back against them. Then sure.
Yeah, he's on his own planet. So I will give it to 10 because he just entertains me at the moment.
Yeah. Yep. I think that brings us to the end of our show. So thank you guys for joining me today. And the rest of you, check out our clips, our highlights over the next week, and join us next weekend. We'll see what happens. Right. Bye.
See ya.
All right, bye, guys.